and welcome back. The diplomatic fallout from South Africa's latest wave of anti-migration protests is entering a new phase. After organizing emergency evacuation flights to bring back stranded Nigerians home, the federal government is now preparing to seek compensation from South Africa for citizens who were forced to abandon businesses, vehicles, homes, and other valuable properties. But can compensation truly replace years of hard work and investment? And what does this latest move mean for relations between two of Africa's largest economies? The federal government says it has already begun documenting the businesses and properties left behind by Nigerians who fled South Africa amid growing xenophobic tensions. The information, officials say, will form the basis of future discussions with the South African government on possible compensation.
And I told them to be very accurate with what they are going to give, because we are going to work with the South African government with that, with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the police, to get the exact location of all these businesses and shops, and properties, and presented it to the South African government for possible compensation, because we will not, allow the properties, the labor that people have suffered to build over the years to just go down the drain or be taken over by some people.
The announcement came as another group of 269 Nigerians safely arrived in Lagos aboard an Air Peace evacuation flight, bringing the total number of government-assisted returnees to 603. While the evacuation continues, attention is now shifting from rescue operations to accountability and justice. Speaking on Channels Television, The Morning Brief, Acting Nigerian High Commissioner to South Africa, Temitope Ajayi, explained that the government has instructed returning Nigerians to carefully document everything they were forced to leave behind.
And we have agreed that we are going to document, we are going to ask our people who are returning to begin to document what they are leaving behind. And that was the message yesterday before this set that are due to land in Lagos.
According to him, this includes shops, businesses, vehicles, movable assets, and landed properties. He said the government intends to work closely with South African authorities to identify those properties and seek possible compensation. His message was clear. The evacuation will not end simply because citizens have returned home.
So this repatriation is not going to end just taking people to Nigeria. We are going to systematically follow up on those informations given to us. And I told them to be very accurate.
The government intends to pursue what it believes is fair compensation for years of investments that may otherwise be lost forever. Ajayi also rejected the perception that most Nigerians returning from South Africa were undocumented migrants. According to him, many entered South Africa legally and only became caught in a backlog created by delays within South Africa's Home Affairs system. He argued that numerous foreign nationals had applied to renew their permits but waited years without receiving updated documentation. If immigration authorities fail to process applications on time, should those affected automatically be labeled illegal immigrants? Is a question that has become central to the debate surrounding the recent protests. Meanwhile, the latest evacuation flight represents part of a much larger operation approved by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu after more than 1,000 Nigerians registered with the Nigerian High Commission in Pretoria for voluntary evacuation. So far, 3 government-assisted flights have returned hundreds of Nigerians to Lagos. Officials from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs welcomed the latest returnees upon arrival, assuring them that the federal government remains committed to protecting Nigerians wherever they may be in the world.
The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, GCFR, has promised Nigerians that every Nigerian that wants to return will be brought back, and we are working on it.
More evacuation flights are expected as authorities continue processing those who wish to return home voluntarily. Despite widespread fears ahead of the June 30th deadline issued by anti-immigration groups, reports from Nigerians still living in South Africa suggest that the demonstrations remain largely peaceful, thanks to one of the country's largest domestic security deployments in recent years. South African authorities mobilized approximately 13,000 law enforcement personnel, supported by drones, helicopters, and tens of thousands of surveillance cameras across Gauteng province and other major regions. Their objective was to prevent a repeat of the deadly unrest that shocked the country during previous outbreaks of xenophobic violence. Nigerians living in Johannesburg described a city under extraordinary security measures. One resident told reporters that businesses remained closed and many people stayed indoors throughout the demonstrations. According to him, soldiers accompany protesters wherever they march, preventing attacks on businesses and limiting opportunities for looting or violence. While the atmosphere remained tense, the heavy deployment of security forces appeared to discourage the widespread destruction that many have feared. Yet, one cannot ignore the fact that thousands of migrants still felt unsafe enough to leave the country altogether. Another important perspective came from leaders of the Nigerian community in South Africa. The National Secretary of the Igbo Union South Africa emphasized that the overwhelming majority of Nigerians living in the country have established legal businesses, families, and long-term investments. He insisted that ordinary protesters cannot force law-abiding migrants to abandon lives they have spent years building. According to him, anti-immigration groups do not represent the South African government and possesses no legal authority to determine who has the right to remain in the country. His message was equally direct. South Africa belongs to the rule of law, not to vigilante groups. At the same time, community leaders acknowledge that many Nigerians continue to face serious hardship. While some have found temporary shelter through the Nigerian High Commission or assistance from fellow Nigerians, others remain stranded and dependent on humanitarian support. Volunteer groups have reportedly distributed food, water, and emergency supplies while encouraging people to avoid confrontation with protesters. Many migrants have also been advised to stay away from protest routes, remain indoors where possible, and maintain regular contact with Nigerian diplomatic officials until the security situation fully stabilizes. This crisis has also exposed deeper questions about immigration administration in South Africa. Nigerian representatives argue that many migrants became undocumented not because they violated immigration laws intentionally, but because government offices failed to process permit renewals within reasonable time frames. If someone entered the country legally and applied for renewal in accordance with the law, should they later be classified as undocumented simply because the system failed to respond? Resolving such administrative failures may prove just as important as addressing public concerns about illegal immigration. For Nigeria, the decision to seek compensation marks an important diplomatic step. Rather than treating the evacuation as the conclusion of the crisis, authorities are signaling that they intend to pursue justice for citizens who lost businesses and investments through circumstances beyond their control. Whether South Africa ultimately agrees to provide compensation remains uncertain. Such negotiations are likely to involve legal, diplomatic, and administrative complexities that could take considerable time. Nevertheless, the announcement sends a strong message that the Nigerian government intends to stand behind its citizens even after they have returned home. Ultimately, this crisis serves as a reminder of how quickly fear, misinformation, and economic frustration can threaten lives, livelihoods, and relationships between neighboring African countries. Nigeria and South Africa share deep economic, diplomatic, and cultural ties that extend far beyond the current tensions. Preserving those relationships while protecting the rights and safety of citizens will require cooperation, transparency, and mutual respect from both governments. As evacuation efforts continue and compensation discussions begin, many Nigerians will be watching closely to see whether justice extends beyond words into meaningful action. What do you think? Should South Africa compensate Nigerians who were forced to abandon their businesses and properties? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this report informative, please share it so others can stay informed about this important development. Many thanks for watching and Happy New Month to you.